circumstance was on that wreck?
You know, I did the other day. I apologize to the mayor and council, like the guy, but it had, I know at the time I told Carol, because I had the accident report in front of me, it had nothing to do with the configuration of the intersection.
I mean, that was kind of our question, you know,
right.
What I was thinking is, you know, somebody may have had a flat, ran off the, you know.
Right. It had nothing to do with yielding or get the right of way
so
or the
any changes we made here would not have avoided that wreck.
That's correct. It would have happened anyway.
Well, Chief, what's your opinion on that?
Well, I was never a candidate for a Fulbright scholarship. My granddad said maybe a half-bright one. But if there's a problem, you know, I'd like to see some empirical evidence. There's no empirical evidence that it's a problem. And my recommendation is leave it the way it is. But that's my recommendation. I could go back further. You know, we could go back through accident reports for the last, you know, for the previous 5 years or so. But going back to the last, if it really was an issue, in my humble opinion, there would have been more than one accident. And again, that I could go dig it out again. But that accident had nothing to do with the signage or the configuration of the intersection, the flow of traffic.
I move that we make no change.
I second it.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Bill Wantler?
Yes.
Chris Anson?
Yes.
Dee Dee Patterson?
Yes.
Gary Howe?
Yes.
Terry Thomason?
Yes.
Motion passes.
No change will be made. Number 8, consideration possible action to establish a policy at the municipal pool requiring children aged 12 and under to be accompanied by a person aged 16 or above. Basically, just to help prevent dropping a child off, come back, pick them up later.
Well, yes, sir, and frankly, the staff is kind of torn on this. Most of us can't imagine having to be a single parent and what they must feel is during a non-school time, especially if they're trying to go to work. But there are developing situations, and they are becoming more frequent. The other day, I think we had a 8-year-old child who fell from the high board, had a head injury. Fortunately, it turned out it was not real substantial. I mean, obviously, if you're the child, it's substantial, but it was not life-threatening. The child did not know his parents, his mother's phone number, couldn't tell you his address, and we were really fearful that if he was going to require medical treatment, that we were not going to be able to help him. Today, for example, today we had 3 children dropped off. The oldest one was what? 8, 6, and 4. The 4-year-old did not want to swim. He basically was left and sat there all day long with nothing to drink, and he would not get in the swimming pool. So I don't know that we're helping them by legislating the fact that we need someone there that can supervise. I don't feel like that these lifeguards are really qualified to be babysitters and do the job of protecting the swimmers. If we're going to be providing a daycare service, I feel like we probably need to be in compliance with some of the DHS requirements, specifically the number of children to care providers, those sorts of things. And I think if I recall right, I think that's 6 kids to one individual. So obviously we can't meet that requirement. So I guess what we're trying to do is just bring this to the council's attention. If you guys want to take action, we would encourage you to do that. But it is becoming a problem. And I think the fact that we know it's a problem probably opens us up to some legal issues. You know, we had a drowning victim that went through the same type issue. Fortunately, the older sibling that was there knew how to get a hold of someone. but this was, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago probably when that happened. But I can certainly see a day coming where we have someone injured at the pool and we have no way to reach a parent. And I know it's become a custom that we provide child care during the day. And for the most part, we don't really mind doing that. It's just when we have an injury or where the child is left without any food or water or any ability to provide for themselves.
How technically would you enforce this? I mean, is there be somebody at the gate? Where's your adult?
Well, when they pay their entry, we would ask, where's your adult? And if they don't have one, we'll turn them away.
Well, I definitely think 4 years old is too young. Who was the oldest one with that?
8.
That group? 8. Well, I personally think that's ridiculous, and that should be a DHS issue altogether, because if they were left at home at 8, with an 8, 6, and 4-year-old, I think DHS would be involved. However, it has been this way for a long time, and I think a lifeguard anywhere, whether it's private club or public anywhere, just about is going to have to tell you that babysitting does come with the territory. As a matter of behavioral issues, the lifeguard can remove them from the pool, terminate their privileges for a certain amount of time or the whole season. I do think there should be some age. I'm not sure 12,
But the problem is if you're 5, 6 years old and you terminate them and you send them outside the fence, now you've just taken the 6-year-old that has no parent, guardian, anybody, just...
No, I understand that. Another suggestion that was in there, and like I say, I still think that, maybe some type of age requirement does need to be put on here. I'm not sure it's 12. But I did like the idea. One of the ideas was making them sign in or something, or at least having their name, their parent's name and a contact number should something happen. But I do kind of feel like, 12 years old may be a little too old to have someone 16 with you. If they're fully able to swim, I mean, I think there should be some other things taken into account here.
So you'd like to see it under 12? Children basically under the age of 12 be accompanied by a person over 16.
I'm not sure the correct age on that. I just...
Well, Chris, one of the things, I sat down with Steve the other day for a while on this, and signing in, that's, to me, that was a good idea too. But then every lifeguard out here is going to have to know, they're going to have to know who this kid's name is. Who is it? You got 50 kids out there, you're not going to remember all their names.
Yeah, if one kid gets hurt, which name
Which name is he?
How much liability would we have when it's 105 degrees outside to make sure that the kid doesn't get dehydrated because he doesn't have any sunscreen on, he gets dehydrated, mom dropped him off for 8 hours, didn't give him any money for something to drink?
Maybe the city attorney would comment.
A lot. I mean, that's my biggest, if you're 16, you should know to get something to drink. If you're 6, you're having too much fun playing to get a drink.
Yeah, especially a 4-year-old that's sitting there. I don't know if there's an actual transfer of responsibility there, but certainly the mother must have thought that she's transferring supervision of that child to someone. And I would assume that probably a jury of peers would say, look, she turned it over to the swimming pool staff, and you guys didn't make sure he had water, and
didn't feed him,
didn't feed him a thing. And so either we need to do that, or we need to up our fees to $10 or $12, and once they check in, then we provide them with a beverage and snack and something during the day. If we're going to do
child care,
I don't want to use the child care term, but if we're going to do something along that line, we need to provide. Not necessarily babysitting service, but we need to be able to give them a drink of water or a bag of chips or something to keep them through the day.
And something else we had talked about the other evening when I come by your office was that maybe we could come up with a wristband with their name on it. And